ColdSteel Recon 1 in the spear point. And this is in the S35VN, their current production run steel. With the black Linerless G10 triad lock and the DLC coated blade. Looks like there is no map on these because it's all over the board. You know, 110 at Knife Center down to 80. That's a $30 difference, you know, at Amazon. Obviously, Amazon's probably the biggest seller, so they can control what they sell them for. But I would just keep an eye on that if you're looking to get it. Here's the specs. It is a big knife, you know, 9.37 inches overall. So I'm not going to get, like the rest of my knives, I'm not going to get into too much of a review of the knife. I wanted to show this, and the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video is obviously, you know, the value you're getting for what you're paying. Everybody knows about the triad lock. Everybody's seen the videos. I wanted to talk about the steel. I think there's just some misinformation out there about CTS XHP to S35VN. Everybody thinks that the Carpenter steel that was on the run, you know, before this on most of ColdSteel's knives is, you know, better, way better than S35VN. And the main reason, from what I've been told, somebody quoted Lynn Thompson as saying that Carpenter is just making it very hard to get their knife steel, you know, their steel to use as knives, which I don't understand. I mean, you would think they'd want the business. I don't know if it's a liability issue or what, but it just seems kind of odd to me. But I have heard that through other channels as well. From what I've been able to tell, you know, I don't do cut tests. If you didn't have the markings on the blade, you would not be able to tell the difference. They're both premium quality steels, you know, high end. You know, it's a cognitive bias. People get it in their brain that something's better, and then they hear that information from something else, or they watched one of Pete's cut tests and it did 20 better than the other. You know, he's the first person to say, you know, he's getting better at sharpening, and his cut, the amount of cuts each steel does is going higher. Do you think that's a coincidence? No. I mean, it has to do with sharpening, you know, edge angle. There's a lot of factors that go into it. So you're not getting shortchanged by using S35VN if it's properly heat treated over CTS XHP. This has got the Edge Pro, you know, mirror polish on the bevel. It came screaming sharp from the factory, like most ColdSteels do. It just seems like the newer knives that they're doing recently, including the AD10 and even the older ones like this, are just smoother. There's something about it. You know, the way to actually collapse these with one hand is you keep your finger in the choil, and this ricasso here comes down so it won't hit your finger. But look how easy that blade drops. It's just effortless. The knife is just premium quality, even more than it used to be. And I haven't touched it. I haven't messed with the pivot or anything. So they've definitely upped their game, and whatever they've done to have this interface, I don't know if they've polished it or if they're not using that gunky black powder coat anymore. That could be the case. You know, a lot of guys used to take them apart and strip that off, and they'd swear that the action got cleaner. I think that could be the case, but I mean, it is just perfect now how good the action works on the triad lock, you know, on this backlock. So it is a larger knife. You know, is that Les George ZT, which is a little smaller blade, but you can see how much smaller the handle is. The Paramilitary 2, which is known for having a large handle. You know, it's small. And then obviously the Para 3 lightweight. So, you know, if you're looking for a value folder, think about what they're giving you here for 90 bucks or 100 bucks. Even if you paid from Knife Center 110, you're getting a premium quality steel. You know, the Paramilitary 2, and this steel right now is a limited exclusive. You know, it's 170, 169 bucks. I got a deal on it at Cutlery Shop for 150. You know, yeah, the edge geometry may be a little better. You know, they're just two different knives, but that's $80 more or $60 more for the same steel. You know, it's comfortable in every grip. You know, people talk about this being a pants shredder. I haven't had any issues. You know, what I usually do is take the clip off and just bend it a tiny bit. On my mini Recon, I actually sanded the whole knife, just knocked the edge off it just a tiny bit with some 400 grit sandpaper, which is also an option. You can't go wrong with the ColdSteel Recon 1 spear or clip point, you know, an S35VN.